Nothing compared to what Filipinos have to face. Eala's touching take on Pressure Sweeten's first pro win at home. Manila, Philippines. Eala is off to a rousing start in the historic WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open. With an entire nation on her back and a raucous crowd at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center cheering on every point she scores en route to a 6-1, 6-2 masterclass over Russia's Elena Chereva, one can only imagine the tremendous pressure for the home favorite to deliver. And deliver, she did. Eala needed just 76 minutes to dispose of Chereva, exuding confidence buoyed by the partisan audience to become the last Filipina standing in the 32-player tournament. And like her dominant victory over the visitor, the 20-year-old Filipina vindicant delivered another masterclass in her post-match interview on the court. Asked about the pressure she feels playing in the first-ever WTA tournament on home soil, Eala dished out a quote for the ages. "Pressure is part of my job, but it's nothing compared to the pressures that regular everyday Filipinos have to face providing for their families," said the world number 49. "It's nothing compared to what my parents have sacrificed to bring me here," added the lefty, acknowledging her parents Mike and Rizza Eala, who have been with her every step of the way. Eala putting a unique perspective on pressure spread like wildfire on social media, with fans hailing the rising tennis star for being grounded and as someone who has been raised well. The second-seeded ace thus marches on to the next round and will take on either number 140 Himino Sakitsum or number 204 Eneo Hibino, both from Japan, on Wednesday. Pressure is a privilege, the quiet power of Eala's words. In a packed stadium at the historic Rizal Memorial Tennis Center in Manila, the air was electric. Thousands had come out to witness history, not just another athletic milestone, but a defining moment in a young athlete's journey and in the cultural story of a nation. On that Monday afternoon, 20-year-old Alexandra Eala was more than a tennis player. She was a symbol of aspiration and identity, the embodiment of a dream rising from Manila's streets and courts to the bright courts of the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open. When Alex stepped onto court to face Russia's Elena Chereva, few could argue that the match wasn't infused with pressure, the kind that reverberates far past baseline rallies and serves. Under the tropical sun, amid thunderous chants of Alex, she dismantled her opponent with a confident 6-1, 6-2 performance. But what truly captured the hearts of spectators, and quickly spread online and across newsfeeds, wasn't solely her athletic dominance. It was what she said after the match. After the final point, the sweat and intensity of competition sandwiched between cheers and applause, a microphone was placed before her. Asked about the pressure of performing at home, Alex didn't speak like a sports star used to platitudes. She spoke like someone grounded in gratitude and aware of life's broader struggles. "Pressure is part of my job, but it's nothing compared to the pressures that regular everyday Filipinos have to face providing for their families," she said. "It's nothing compared to what my parents have sacrificed to bring me here." Those words, simple, candid, deeply empathetic, spark something much more profound than the win itself. Pressure beyond the baseline. At face value, tennis pressure may seem insular. The nerves before a big serve, the expectations of a partisan crowd, the demands of climbing the professional ranks. But Alex's words reminded every Filipino watching that there exists a different kind of pressure, the kind that doesn't get televised, doesn't fill stadiums, yet weighs heavily on families across the archipelago. In a country where many hard-working citizens juggle multiple jobs just to provide basic needs, where economic realities can be unforgiving, Alex's comparison was not only poignant but also culturally resonant. She chose not to center herself as the focus of national anxiety or heroic burden. Instead, she lifted the collective experience of ordinary Filipinos, acknowledging their daily resilience in a way that transcended sport. Her humility draws a striking contrast to the spotlight of professional athletics. While most athletes might dwell on personal performance, Alex placed her experience in context. Tennis anxiety, even with national support, pales in comparison to the weight carried by many families striving just to get through another day. It was a reminder that sometimes the most powerful statements in sports come not from athletic bravado, but from heartfelt connection. History at home, a full-circle moment. This tournament marked more than a career milestone. For Alex, returning to Manila wasn't just playing at home, it was a full-circle moment in her journey. She had trained, competed, and traveled the world on the WTA Tour, and now she stood at the very courts where her Eala passion took shape. She enjoyed the warmth of family and community, an emotional richness that can't be measured in ranking points. Her win at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center, a venue steeped in Philippine sporting history, was symbolic in itself. But the backdrop of family, of friends and supporters cheering in unison, elevated this victory into something deeply personal and culturally meaningful. Many Filipinos saw in Alex's eyes not just talent, but the reflection of shared dreams and collective pride. This was more than sport. It was cultural affirmation, a generational voice in a global arena. Alex's resonance goes beyond her country's borders. At just 20 years old, she's part of a younger generation of athletes who articulate not only their sport but also their identities and values. The way she spoke about pressure, not dismissing it but reframing it, reflects a maturity and emotional intelligence that resonates globally. A recognition that the pressure she feels is a byproduct of opportunity, a privilege rather than a burden, echoes wider conversations about mental health, resilience, and gratitude in high-performance arenas. It's a perspective that challenges the narrative of success as purely self-centered achievement, and instead anchors it in empathy and community. In this way, Alex's words extend beyond Filipino pride. They offer a universal lesson that the weight of expectation, while real, need not define one's experience of success. Instead, it can be acknowledged gently, even lovingly, as part of a larger journey. Beyond one match, the power of narrative. The public's reaction was swift and emotionally charged. Across social media and comment sections, Filipinos didn't just celebrate her victory. Many lauded her character, humility, and grounded values. Her heartfelt remarks struck a chord, with users expressing admiration not just for her tennis prowess, but for her humility in saying what many feel but rarely voice.